Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Lots going on with the Thargoid lately, and when you say the words Thargoid, certain images come into your mind. Thargoids turning up at bases, harvesting the barnacles, worrying the meta-alloys. Thargoids interdicting you and giving you a good probing, and depending on how that goes, it could end in disaster. You sat around thinking, well, how can I give those Thargoids a good probing instead? Turn the tables on them. They won't like it up 'em. Oh no sir, they will not. Well, this is what this video is all about collecting tissue samples from Thargoids. These dreaded space daisies of the Elite Dangerous galaxy have been sticking it to us pilots for too long. Some pilots can be good and give it back to them in the combat ship. You may not be very good at combat, like me, especially with the Thargoids. So how can you get your own back on these Thargoids? Well, you can collect tissues from them, and for that you're going to need some specialised gear. You're going to need, for one, a corrosive resistant cargo rack, and then you're also going to need a fast enough ship. Once you've got those two things, you want to find yourself a Research Limpet, or if it's a big old ship, you can use the multi-limpet controller, class 7, and the Research Limpet is part of that. Now, collecting tissue samples from a Thargoid, giving it a good old enema and a bit of a biopsy is not going to be that difficult. Not going to be that easy, really. But once you do it a few times, you can get a pretty good success rate. So here I am in my Scout, a Condor. This is particularly built up, as I've mentioned, for destroying scouts in AX combat zones. You get a lot of money, get a lot of good materials, and some Thargoid materials. After a while you've been shooting those scouts, our old space daisies are going to turn up in the shape of a Thargoid Interceptor. And, you know, you could get a Cyclops, you could get something a bit more fruity. They're going to come in, they're going to shut everybody down. Right, so don't be alarmed, that's what's going to happen. Now, there's to be some more scouts milling around the area. They're also going to launch their swarm. Any NPCs in the area are going to start attacking the Thargoid Interceptor. Now, you can turn around and carry on shooting the scout threat, or you can give it a bit of an enema, which is what the purpose of this video is all about. Now, you can do this in a smaller ship. You just ignore the scouts, fly in, nice and cool, release your limpet, away you go. Now, as you can see, I've got my Research Limpet all primed up ready, and we're approaching the Thargoid of choice. It's turned to the active colour, and I'm going to launch my limpet. Now, the swarm's flying around. You can see I've got some caustic damage. My shields are currently still up. Why I'm using shields, I don't know. And you can see my limpet is approaching that Thargoid Interceptor. Now, this is going to go in, and it's going to give it a bit of a biopsy. Right? Now, the whole idea of this is to stay as close to that Thargoid as you possibly can without incurring any damage. Now, this is my AX build, and I've got a multi-limpet controller on there, and I'm using the Research Limpet. Now, depending on how active the Thargoid is and how busy the system is, this Research Limpet, right, is going to dance around the Thargoid for quite a bit before attaching itself. And once it does, it'll say, right, yes, I'm extracting, just as it's doing now. Now, the idea of this is typically not to get beyond 4,000 meters, so 4.5 kilometers, right? I would say. Stay within 2 or 3, try and stay out of the way, let all the NPCs take some of the brunt of the damage. While you're doing that, it's a good idea, if you've got any caustic limpet controllers, get some decontamination on the go and get rid of any damage. That'll stop you incurring damage while you're chasing this Thargoid. Now, I've also got some heat sinks as well. One of them I've got engineered, so I get 4 opposed to the standard 3. They do give me a little bit of hassle, however, because they're a little bit heavier. Depending on the ship and the build, weight shouldn't be a problem. You're not going to go bouncing around the galaxy with this. Now, extracting, we're nearly done. We've dropped our cargo scoop. Once we've dropped the cargo scoop, the limpet is going to finish extracting and it's going to detach. Then all you have to do is typically stay out the way and wait for that limpet to come back to your ship. Once you've done that, if you've got the cargo space and the limpets and the hull, let's not forget that, you're going to be free to go and do another one. Okay, that limpet's going to come into the ship, bang, there you go, and now it's time, if you've got the kahoonies, let's say that, to go and get yourself another one. Now as you see, I fired that one off, no dramas there, it's going in, it's going to attach, and it's going to start extracting. Rinse and repeat. Now for some reason, even though that limpet had the biosample with it, it didn't show up. Out of the 4 or 5 attempts I did, I only managed to get 2. So that's exactly how you do it. Just be very careful that you do actually pick up your sample. Now, not to be put off by the fact that it didn't quite work the first time, here I am again. Got my Research Limpet all ready to go. I've got in nice and close and I've got my Thargoid in my sights. I'm running at 37% heat and I've sent off the limpet. Now the limpet's dancing around trying to get onto the Thargoid. Not a problem there. We're going to keep nice and close and kind of try and stay out of his way. Go. It's trying to connect. And you're going to get this. It's going to be quite frustrating. Because obviously the Thargoid's being engaged by other NPC or other real-life players in the area. This is AX combat, right? Typically, a good way of doing this is you and your crew fly in there. One keeps the Thargoid busy. You run nice and cold, nice and silent. Fly in, get your biopsies done, job done, and the Thargoid doesn't touch you at all whatsoever. Anyway, there goes our limpet. Still trying to connect. You can see how laborious it can be. Not particularly difficult, it's just like anything in this game, frustrating. Finally, we've got extraction going on. Now we've still got our cargo scoop opening, so that's limiting our speed somewhat. We're still trying to stay in between 4,500 kilometers. Trying to close that gap. If you can't go too far out of the range of the limpet will just disengage and that will be the end of it. Now all of this, once you actually start extracting, takes about 60 seconds. Here we are, we're still keeping nice and close. An NPC is still engaging the Thargoid. We're using our heat sinks. There you go. We're coming up to 3/4 of the way now. Still keeping nice and close. Taking a bit of damage. That's to be expected. And you could fit your ship with flak cannons and destroy the swarm. There you go. Extraction complete. Limpet is detached. It's on our way back. Thargoid's giving us a bit of a blast because it could see us due to our heat. Got a caustic missile coming in as well. So here it comes. It's really close. And it's in. Great. Now, when I went and checked my manifest, I actually found that the tissue sample was there. I've been Ricardo. Thanks very much for watching this on how to give a Thargoid an enema. It's not all about them giving us a probing, it's about us giving them a probing too. And with these missions going on, knowing how to get a tissue sample is a good skill to have. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.